We got to remember that our happiness can't be in physical objects because all those will pass away. And then just keep in mind that once we get that thing, or once we get to that place, there will be more responsibilities in that place waiting for us. And then we'll be looking back at where we were before when we wanted the thing that we currently have, and we'll be saying, dag, where I was before, that was easier than where I am now. So that's why they say be careful what you ask for, because what you ask for, you're not even aware of how much more energy it's going to take to sustain that state. And that's why we don't have it yet. Hey y'all, welcome back to Holistic Flow. I am your girl Lolo. In this video, I've got some quick, hopefully quick, little tidbits for you about just life in general. As you've probably noticed, this channel has gone through like a little bit of a maturation period, as I myself have gone through a maturation period, and that's spiritually, emotionally, physically in some ways. And I hope that you have too, because this is what this channel is all about. But when it comes to wants, sometimes our wants can get in the way of our happiness. And honestly, if we look at the world, everybody strives for the same thing. Everybody ultimately strives for happiness. Now, the way that we get that happiness, the actions that we take to get there are very different from one person to the other, because there are so many different purposes, or I guess not purposes, assignments that each of us have for our life that we should fulfill or work to fulfill, and they look different. But ultimately, we all want the same thing. Even people who are negative, even people who it looks like they don't, want growth, or they don't want to succeed, even everybody. And so the goal really is to see a part of yourself in every other human being and realize that everybody wants to be happy, everybody wants health, and everybody wants to be treated with some type of love and respect. And I like to think of myself as not somebody who heals people at all, but gives words of wisdom that help people realize for themselves how they need healing themselves. To want something that you don't currently have is to put the mind at a state of lack. And life is all about finding balance in between wanting something in the future and being satisfied with your present moment. So there's two extremes to this. There's like night and day. There's some people who are so satisfied with where they are currently that they are not going to move from their comfortable place. Have you ever been sitting on a couch or on a chair so comfortable that you're just feeling all warm and fuzzy inside, and that you're like, I would never leave this couch, I will never leave this bed? That's more relatable. And you're like, your blanket is so comfortable, and you just know as soon as you raised up out of the blanket, it's gonna be chilly, the cold is gonna hit you, and then you probably have to sit on the cold toilet. And so you're like, you're so comfortable in bed, I'm gonna stay here. Right? So there's some people who are so comfortable in life that it doesn't matter what opportunities present themselves. They just want to stay exactly where they are. They're fine with making the same amount of money that they make. They're fine with having the same type of conversations and not going into any, depth with their conversations. They're fine with the current state of their health. They might not want to better it any at all. We all know those people. But then also on the other extreme, there are people who are always chasing the next thing. And those people really want progress. That person is always chasing a level up. That person is always chasing a promotion. That person is always chasing a new hobby. Believe it or not, the person who is always chasing a new thing versus the person who is comfortable exactly where they're at and does not want to move, both of those people want the same thing. Both of those people want happiness and health, even if it doesn't look like it. The thing is, most of us are in a constant state of wanting something that we currently don't have, whether or not we act on it. And I believe that being in a constant state of want, or a constant state of desiring something that you currently don't have, is exactly the trap that our mind needs to stay in a state of depression, to stay in a state of sadness, to stay in a state of unhappiness. Because if we're always wanting something that we don't currently have, even once we get that thing that we wanted, we'll want the next thing. Or if we're always wanting something that we don't have and never working towards the thing that we don't have, then we'll always be dissatisfied with ourselves, but then we'll never know what it's like to have that thing if we don't work toward it. So either way, being in a constant state of want is a trap for the mind to stay in a season or in a state of dissatisfaction with your life. Everybody wants happiness, but in order to get it, we have to learn that we only can find happiness in this present moment. Any moment outside of the present is actually sort of a turn on. I don't want to say trigger, but it's a turn on or an activation for either depression or anxiety. I've said this before, but I'll say it a few times in many videos. But anxiety is your mind focused on the future, and depression is your mind lingering in the past. So either state does not serve us. Only the present is where we can find happiness. Hey, really quickly, do you value feeling seen, feeling heard, and connecting with a community who also wants to do the same? Do you often experience mental fatigue, stress, anxiety, and a lack of structure or routine in your day? Do you want to manage your stress levels better, develop a better relationship with yourself, and get clear on your personal goals in your life? Well, then becoming a Holistic Fit meditation member would be great for you. I help beginner practitioners lead life with less stress, less mental clutter, and more joy so they can reach an overall more holistically fit lifestyle through yoga practices and mindfulness meditation techniques such as breath work, present moment awareness, and noticing stress and anxiety built up in the body, not only mentally, but also physically. As a member, you'll get access to live and on-demand classes 3 times a week at your own schedule, at your own time. And plus, we do community convos once a month, so you can connect with our community with like-minded individuals who are going through the same thing as you. We get to connect with each other, share our experiences, and celebrate our wins. In just 3 to 6 months, you can expect to experience results such as a lowered overall heart rate, improved mood, less stress, and more focus and concentration in your everyday life. To become a Holistic Fit Meditation member, you can go to my website at holisticfitmeditation.com and click on memberships, or click the link in the description box that says become a Holistic Fit Meditation member. And I hope to see you practicing soon. And so the reason why life is about balancing, being satisfied with this present moment and while still wanting something for the future is because those two people on opposite ends of the spectrum, neither of them are balanced. Even though some might say, oh yeah, be satisfied with where you are, don't move. It's okay to just stay here. Yeah, but not forever. And then on the flip side of it, yeah, go for what you want. Go for the next thing. Go for it. And it's like sometimes we actually need time to slow down and sit with what we currently have and be satisfied with what we currently have. If we're always trying to climb a mountain, every mountain that we get to, we'll get to the top and we're like, I've always wanted to climb this mountain. Once we get to the top, we'll look over the peak, look at the scenery and be like, oh, this is all right. What's the next thing? Because the thing about wanting something that you don't have is that when you get that thing, you'll realize that it's not as glamorous as what you previously predicted when it was just in your head mentally. Once we get the thing that we thought we really wanted, that thing, that level up, always comes with a new problem, a new responsibility, a new task. Something new will come up that will be required of you to take on a burden or some type of baggage in order to attain that thing. And I know some people may be saying, well, damn, that sounds like a trap. In order to get the thing that I want, I have to take on a burden so that that thing won't be as glamorous as what I perceive mentally. No, it's not a trap. It's just to show us that we should never focus so much on the future tense of what we don't have, so much that it makes us desperate and puts us in a constant state of lacking something. Because when we're always in a constant state of lacking something, we can sometimes get a desperate mindset. That mentality is not something that aligns with divine intervention, for God to be able to take that mindset and be like, okay, I can work with this. Manifestation, a lot of people have that wrong. You know, I've heard some people say that manifestation is not of God. That I've heard many things about what people think manifestation is, but I've heard from the source, from God, what manifestation actually is, because none of us can actually manifest something on our own. Yes, the root word is man, but it's really man working with divine. We work together. We're a team. It's not never our own pattern of thinking, our own mental logic, figuring out how we're going to get from point A to point B. It's always our mindset being able to be receptive to divine wisdom and guidance in order for us to work together so we can progress forward. And so if we're having a mindset of desperation, or if we're operating out of a lack, we'll never be able to receive that divine wisdom and guidance, because our mind isn't on a, you know, some people say frequency, or we're not on a vibration to receive the blessings that we actually need to attain the growth and the desires of our heart, and not only of our mind. The truth is, once we attain what we wanted, we'll see that it's probably not as glamorous as what we originally thought, especially if it's something physical. We want the latest Jordans. You know, we want that house with the hardwood floors and the marble countertops. We want the nice car. And all of those are cool to have. But we got to remember that our happiness can't be in physical objects, because all those will pass away. And then just keep in mind that once we get that thing, or once we get to that place, there will be more responsibilities in that place waiting for us. And then we'll be looking back at where we were before, when we wanted the thing that we currently have, and we'll be saying, dag, where I was before, that was easier than where I am now. So that's why they say be careful what you ask for, because what you ask for, you're not even aware of how much more energy it's going to take to sustain that state. And that's why we don't have it yet, because our mental isn't in the right place to even sustain that state. We're looking towards it, but we're not ready for it yet. At least not spiritually. Maybe mentally in your mind, we may perceive it is, but spiritually, we're not ready for it yet, or else we would be there. So I hope that you enjoyed that video. That message just came upon me, and I know that a lot of people need that message. So let me know what you thought of it in the comments. Let me know what your biggest takeaway from it was, what all resonated with you. Go ahead and give this video a thumbs up, and I hope to see you in the next video. Until then, I'm sending peace your way, love your way, and joy to you, your family, and your friends. All right, y'all. Peace.